Hello. Well, it's taken me 3 years, but I managed to get my hands on this beauty. This is the LG G5. Now, for those of us who like the tech, we have the tech disease. This came out in, I think it was 2016, and I remember seeing it being, it might have been Mobile World Congress, I don't know where, but I remember seeing videos and when I saw it, first of all, I really liked to look at it. I just thought it looked really cool compared to LG's, I think the G4 and G3, which for me weren't really anything special. When I saw this, I said, wow, looks really cool. And then of course, when it came out with the modular design, and I'm going to turn it off, hold on, let me just do it here. When I saw that, I thought, this is the future. Now, of course, history has probably not been too kind to our friend here. It just didn't seem to fire up the imagination of people, and the reviews, if you were looking, were some were mixed. Some were pretty good, and then some were more scathing of it. Probably a lot to do with the fact that this thing here, this is how you remove, and you can add certain things like I think they're called the LG Friends. So there was a camera grip, there was a B&O Bang & Olufsen DAC fits on here, and some other things that didn't fit directly here, but there was a 360 camera, which was a standalone camera, which I had, and I thought it was really good. I got it really cheaply, and I used it with my whatever phone I was using at the time. It worked really well. And there was I think there was something else. Oh yeah, the extra, and I have it here. Just to show you, this was the external battery charger, so pretty cool that you could have charge a battery on the go, and then you would be able to use this. So I just really cool idea. Now the phone in itself, did I turn it on? The specs of the phone were 5.3 Full HD Plus screen. I think the screen is excellent, LCD. It was 16 megapixel camera, 8 megapixel front camera. Camera's really good. 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB internal storage. This is this one cost, I think, around about 800. This is okay. So I got this from souk.com, and I was hoping I could have sent it back, to be honest with you. I was hoping that it was going to be not an American. This is an AT&T phone, and I could have sent it back saying that the guy hadn't properly advertised the phone, because it's an AT&T phone, and I really wanted something that was not a North American phone. And I'll tell you for why, if I can find the thing. Let me see. Because I bought this, right? This is the B&O DAC for your digital audio converter, and it's not compatible with the North American or Canadian version of the LG. It's only Middle East or European, something like that. So it's not compatible. It's a real pain. So this comes like this, and it goes into the there. Okay. So it's a real pain in the butt. I could have sent this back, and I think on souk.com they had it's more expensive. I think it was maybe the one that I should have got. By the by, I'm not going to keep it anyway, so it's not such a big deal. And this can be used on any phone. You just connect via the USB-C to USB-C, and then plug in your headphones, and this will B&O DAC will work on any phone. So cool, I can use it, and I'm a big music fan, and it's cool to have this. So that's why I didn't bother sending it back, to be honest with you. I was too lazy. So But just be forewarned, if anybody's interested to buy this and they want the B&O DAC, then don't get the North American one. Check, because actually on the box, and it's the only reason, unfortunately for me, and I saw it very cheap in Extra. Don't buy it on Souk. I saw it cheap. It was like 50 something reals or something on Extra, if they have it on their app, so you can check there. So yeah, I didn't send it back. This is the titanium. Let me just put this in here. This is a titanium version of the phone, and look, right from the offset, I really liked it. I bought this just cheap TPU thing. I'll put it back in there. I really wanted this when it came out. I just liked the idea of modular. I like to look at it, etc. And I really wanted it, but I don't remember which phone I had at the time. But anyway, I didn't buy it. Of course, I had some other phone. Don't know what it was. Maybe HTC 2016. I don't even know what I was doing in 2016. So I decided, let me get it and at least review it. And for the most part, I still really like it. I'm not saying it's perfect, because it's not, okay? I did read that the screen can be prone to screen retention, so it's kind of like burning, but not burning, but it's, so you could be looking at one screen and you'll still see a shadow of the former screen in the background. I haven't noticed anything with this one, but it could be an issue. But if you can buy these refurbished on AWOC, and I'm assuming they're American as well, and they're like, with shipping and tax, you probably pay less than $500 for it. I still think it is a really good phone, and hear me out. I think the camera is excellent. The microphone, really good when you're shooting the old video. This has the Snapdragon, let me get it right, 820 processor, and with 4 GB of RAM, and it still is working really very swiftly. Now, I did do Antutu, and I deleted it for some reason. I think I was going to reformat everything. Yeah, I was removing stuff. And the Antutu score, if I can remember, was around 135,000, something like that. So it wasn't a bad score for a phone that is 3 years old. In your daily use, this phone is as fast as any phone that really, any mid-tier phone, probably faster, to be honest with you. I didn't notice anything at all. I put Nova launcher on here, and I have certainly, as far as I'm concerned, the using the UI and interacting with this, I used it for about a week. Call quality is good. I was using the video calling for talking to my wife, who's on vacation at the moment. I kind of used it as my main phone for a while, and I was really very tempted to keep it. But of course, unfortunately for me, my eyes are always looking what's next I can get, just to, because there's a lot of phones out there that now are a lot more affordable, that when they came out I fancied, and I just didn't have or I couldn't justify spending whatever it was, 2,000 reals on a phone, which now you can get for like 700-800 reals or less. But it doesn't make them any less desirable. I talked about this the other day with regards to, forget about high-end phones, but with regards to any phone other than a high-end phone, phones I believe they've really like reached a plateau. So speed-wise, etc. There's so many phones that you can buy that are for most people are more than enough fast for their daily needs. Everybody, of course, still looking at the high-end phones, but even Apple, there's been a big slowdown with spending, people buying actually the new Apple iPhone XS or X Max, whatever it's called, because there's not really, in the hands of most people, there's not much of a difference that they see compared to the iPhone, the original iPhone 10. So the phones have really made have really reached a plateau, and this is what actually, this is great for us, people who like to buy phones and who like to test the technology. This is great for us because we now can afford to buy these phones that we desired with our eyes a couple of years ago when they came out, and most of these phones, if they've got 3 GB of RAM and above, a half decent processor, most of these phones are going to be working really pretty decently, and this is one. I think it looks, I still really like it. I think the screen is this Full HD plus. And it's actually smaller, 5.2, so it's really packing in the pixel density there. I think the screen looks really good. The phone feels very light. Now, a lot of people, when I read this, a lot of people thought that this was plastic, but it's not, it's metal. What had happened was that the protective paint the paint that the LG had put over it gave it this kind of plasticky feel, but it's not plastic, it is metal. Of course, it comes with the headphone jack, which a lot of people still like. Speakers down here is okay. It's not great, it's not brilliant, but it's okay. And this is USB-C here. Now, there is some caveats, of course, to LG modular design, and I'll show you, if I can show you now. You can see here that when I put the battery back in, it don't really, it's not, you don't get a click. So you can see that it's not completely flush with the phone bottom of the screen, which is a bit of a pain. I don't know why they couldn't really resolve that. It's not noticeable once it's in its case for the most part, but that might be for aesthetic purposes to some people, break the lines a wee bit, and maybe there's a better way to put the battery in, I'm not sure, I will check. But small things like that LG kind of dropped the ball on, and I think this is a lot of the reason why it just wasn't that popular, which is a real shame, because I do think it was a standout phone. It was offering something different. It's still offering something a bit different. If you can get the non-North American one and you want to buy the DAC, great to be able to swap out these batteries, and it's not the only LG one that had a swap out battery. But I think this phone still looks really cool. I don't know, again, I think this depends on your taste really, but I just really like it. I don't know what it is about this slightly bump here with the camera, and the camera's really good. And many people reviewed the camera and they really enjoyed its dual camera, and you could get really good wide angle shots on it, because one of them is a wide angle lens, and really the camera still stands up today. Fingerprint scanner and on-off button is at the back, which I think works pretty well for me. It feels pretty decent. As I said, the front video camera is decent. It's excellent actually for what I would use it for. It feels really cool in the hand. It's not very heavy. It's really very light. So I think it still works today. I love the shape. I would love to see LG having more like a bezel-less design, but with the same shape. It'd be absolutely brilliant. That's my opinion. So the battery life is another caveat, but because you can swap out these batteries and they're not that expensive to buy, so you could easily just have handy another battery, but that could be a deal breaker for most people. Now, I was getting probably round about 7-8 hours maybe if normal moderate use, maybe less if it was heavy use, and maybe a wee bit more if it was lighter use. So but again, I'd had one of the other batteries charged, so easy enough for me to just swap it out, and that was me 100% battery again. So if you were thinking about buying it, I think you should get the extra battery. You don't even need that charger, I suppose. It's not that expensive, but at least get an extra battery. That's what's the cool thing about having this kind of modular thing, so you can swap out, and then it will last you all day, if not longer than all day. So anything else that I can tell you? Well, okay, without the DAC, and with a half decent, now the bundled headphones that came with are really, really, really crap. And I was really disappointed because I thought they would be half decent. But anyway, I put in, I have these Huawei USB-C ones, and I was pleasantly surprised. Then I had another pair of with the jack, and I put them in, and the sound was actually really good. So it's just the bundled LG ones are pretty crap. They look nice, but they're really muffly. They're just really rubbish. So anything else I can tell you? No, I mean, anybody, look, my advice would be probably not to buy this, which was about, what did I say, 800 something? I wouldn't buy it new, but you could buy refurbished, and I really think it's worth it. Strange noise. I've got that many phones here, I'm not sure which ones are ringing, which ones aren't. Anyway, do your check online, do your research if you want to buy one, because I still think it's a really good phone, great second phone, great travel phone. So that's the LG 5. I wanted to share it with you. Now I have to go and look and see what phone of mine was ringing there. I really like it. I still think 3 years later it is still a very good phone and will do nearly everybody a good day's work. So anyway, comments, etc. I will do my best. If there's anything that I need to answer, I will try and answer it in a timely fashion. So that's it. LG G5. I like it a lot. Bye.